into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We're here, guys.
Can you believe it?
Take it in. It's coming to an end. That's right.
Sad.
It is sad. I know. Welcome, everyone, to our after show here for Bloodline. We are on season 1, episode 12.
12.
Already. It's coming to an end.
12 is your favorite number?
Perfect.
Sure is.
Then here we are, Kate. It's meant to be, just for you. We have an exciting episode tonight. We have a special guest later on. A
killer guest.
Hint, hint. A killer guest. Yes. So
I'm Alison Dean. I'll be here all night.
She will.
I actually will.
She'll sit right here next to me. Yes, super excited for tonight's episode. You're gonna want to stick around and find out who that guest is. You, of course, can find us on YouTube all the time at youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV. You can also listen to your heart's content on SoundCloud and iTunes. You can find us all there. And be sure to interact with us and chat with us, leave comments, like us, rate us, speak to us, all of that good stuff. We like all of your interactions. In fact, we love it so much that we would really appreciate you guys heading on over to Podcast One. There's an excellent listener survey at podcastone.com that would really be fantastic for you to head on over, because we want to make sure to have all of your responses and input for all of our episodes. We want to make sure that our shows are the very best that they can be, that we're hitting all the points that you guys want to find out about, that you are thoroughly enjoying your time when you come to AfterBuzzTV.com. So be sure to head over to podcastone.com. The survey is really quick. It'll only take you about 3 minutes. You can leave all your responses, all your opinions, tell us how you really feel about all of the shows, and that way it'll help us get to know you better, and we can hone in on some good stuff. So do it now. Take the Podcast One survey, podcastone.com. Just a couple minutes.
Maybe not right now, but after our show.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Take Alison's advice.
Yeah.
And keep those tweets and comments coming. We love them.
For sure.
Yes.
Very good. I am your host, Blake V, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And I am Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean.
Hi guys, I'm Kate Aquillano, and you can find me everywhere at Kate Aquillano.
Yes, and you can find me, Marielou Mandl, at all social media at Marielou Mandl.
That's it. That covers it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Very good, guys. I like it.
This episode was intense, guys.
We should be getting a phone call any moment now too.
Okay.
Well, good.
Should we tell them who this guest is?
Absolutely. Let's let them know.
So we have with us, literally, he plays someone that was out to get Danny. It's Tyler Cravens, and he played Ralph Lawler. But he went against the lawlessness.
Ralph was scary.
He was so scary.
Yeah.
He was.
He was intense. He had that quiet scary.
Yeah.
He was
That's
good.
The worst kind.
He was good. That was another perfect. We've actually, that really has been spot on casting for the show. I have to say,
it's been amazing.
They've done good. Those casting people.
Yes, and even for the small periods of time that they're on, even for just an episode or a moment or whatever it is, every person fits their perfection.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I love it. And like I said, he was more intimidating to me than Lowry, which Lowry's runs the whole smuggling drug unit thing, and he was so much more intimidating.
Yeah, he was a perfect hitman.
Perfect.
Yes,
He was.
for sure.
Yeah.
He was, and he had some great moments with some key people. So we'll have to chat with him about that.
Yes,
Definitely.
I can't wait to know about all of his experiences on set.
T-minus 3 minutes.
Excellent.
Maybe overall impressions, everyone, for episode 12.
Yes. Okay, so I feel like this episode was really the ramp up. It's the game changer of the whole entire season. If anybody ever
yes.
thought that there was maybe a slow build or just little teasers, we're down to 2, and it's going off. Things are getting crazy.
Things are popping off.
I'm surprised what happened in this episode didn't happen in the final episode. So that surprised me. How, like, because usually the one before the finale is kind of just like the ramp up, and you're like, wow, that just happened. So now I'm like, well, what's going to happen in the finale? I mean, obviously, I know we're just going to get right into it. Danny.
Wait, we are going to get right into it?
I'm just going to say.
Oh.
But not episode 13.
No.
Episode 12. There we go. Get into
That
it.
he dies.
Yeah, he does. Well, you know, here's the thing. I thought that there still could be a chance. Maybe that's because
He's alive?
No. Well, in episode 12, because the way that they ended it, he was floating for we don't know how long. They definitely.
Floating.
Yeah. But I was still hopeful that maybe John would have a moment of like, oh, and like, I'm gonna save my brother and pound his chest and get the water out of his lungs and save him. I thought there was a glimmer.
What about that flash forward we saw back in episode 1 of him carrying like
we didn't know he was dead. We didn't know. It looked bad, but we didn't know. Anyway, I was hopeful.
He's dead.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
We were discussing this earlier. We were just concerned he was going to float away the whole time during that scene. I don't know how they kept him put.
I know. I'm like,
I was very stressed during that. I'm like,
don't move him.
He's gonna go.
Yeah.
Get him in.
I love him. I love you, Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh my gosh.
He is the greatest.
You love him. You don't love Danny.
I love Danny. I love Danny.
God.
I love him.
Just Team Danny all the way.
I can't.
I'm Team Danny.
I can't.
Dano. I'm Team Dano.
Team Dano.
I mean, yeah, things were getting a little intense in that last convo. Beg me.
Yeah,
Beg me.
Yeah.
But like the lead up to that, where like we've got Kevin and the gun. Like, is Kevin going to do something? And it's like Meg going to do something?
No, Kevin
'cause
was too much of a wuss.
He jumps in on Meg's house. Like
Every interaction that Danny and Meg have, I am concerned for Meg's safety.
Yeah.
Like, and that's your brother. Like, that feeling shouldn't be there. And again, when he goes into their house and like threatens her for the, I don't know, 100th time during the series, I'm like, when is enough?
Yeah, and that brings up a good point too, because I feel like really his issues were not directly with Meg. Like, I'm a little confused as to why he's so aggressive against Meg, because I feel like a lot of his anger and issues are directed more towards John, for example, or his parents.
I think it has a lot to do with not filing the paperwork for the inn. I think he knows that was something that she had direct control over, and she was the one that made the conscious decision. Is Tyler with us?
How did you guys know I was even here?
We knew
Because we have a fabulous engineer in the booth right now who just held up a
tipped us
sign.
off.
Yeah, she gives a little clue. So, God bless you, Marissa Serafini. We love you.
I was just listening to you chat along, and I didn't know.
We were like, there you are.
Yes, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for burning the midnight oil, even though it's not the midnight for us, but it is for you.
No, it's totally my pleasure. We've had Bill and Jeremy on, and Gino, so I love those guys. So once I've been watching all of your episodes, and I just wanted to be a part of it. So I reached out, and you guys welcomed me with open arms. That's cool.
We're so happy that you wanted
That is
to
the
join
best
us.
news, Tyler. Thank you. I love that.
Awesome.
I know. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We're really excited. We want to know all about it. So this. Let me just start there.
Sure. You ladies you've really done a great job. I'm really impressed, actually, because I think Jeremy touched on it too. We, all of us actors, we've just kind of followed the show and have become fans ourselves, and have really been just kind of happy to be a part of such a dynamic show. And overall, you guys have been right in line with what I've been thinking all along when I was watching the show. Of course, I binged it. Unfortunately, you guys couldn't watch it.
It's been torturous.
Torture.
yes, the only people on the planet.
But how did you like that? How did you like this episode 12?
Well, we didn't. I mean, you certainly had a rough ending there.
Rough go of it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's ask you the same thing. Like we asked our guy who played Raffi, how did you feel when you found out you were going to die in this
Well, I was waiting to die all along. After I did episode 10, I wasn't sure. They had told me I was pretty much coming back, because during the audition process they told me it was possible recurring, but I didn't know for sure. I think you guys have gotten enough information up to this point to know that we were all left in the dark.
Yep.
And, so once I knew I was coming back for episode 11, and I got the script once I got down to the Keys, because I live in Orlando as well. So once I got to the hotel, they gave me the full script. So I breezed through it real fast, and I went all the way to the end to see if I died yet. And no, they kept me around through episode 11. So I kind of knew I was coming back in 12. And was just crossing my fingers that I would make it through the finale. But then when I got into 12,
almost
got the script for 12, and I saw how it happened. But when I saw how it happened, I was like, the best way to go.
Yeah, I know. Very monumental moment there.
And you had some really good moments. The scene that you had with Sally at the beginning of the episode, what was it like working with Sissy Spacek? Like, how many times did you have to do that particular scene?
Yeah, that's awesome that you got to work with her.
Yeah.
Legend. Come on.
Yeah, that's like a career builder right there. I mean, that's one of those things that you... Yeah, I mean, it's even more than a notch in the belt. It's one of those things that I've been very fortunate in my career. In this region, we have larger productions that do come into town, from time to time and that sort of thing. And I've been very fortunate to work with some of the icons in the industry, and she is definitely top notch for me on that.
Oh yeah.
And she was so welcoming. I met her in the van, and she turned around right away and stuck out her hand and introduced herself. It was just like, she's great. She's fantastic.
But you were in that scene. I was particularly impressed with just how you handled delivering all that information. I mean, your lying ability, or I should say, you acting like a liar.
Your acting ability.
Spot on, Tyler. Very good lying.
This episode was fantastic, and you played a huge part in that. You did a fantastic job in your role, and this episode was really mind-blowing for all of us.
Yes.
I mean, just really, we weren't expecting a lot of what happened. At least I wasn't.
You cut out on me a little bit. Are you still there?
Oh yeah,
sorry,
we're here.
Can you hear us now?
Oh no. Are we having technical difficulties?
No.
Okay, did you guys hear? I just heard you. You cut out right when you were telling me how great I was.
So don't worry, we'll repeat it. Are you back with us? Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you all now.
Okay, excellent. So
I didn't quite get the question though.
Oh yeah, I think I was still going on about how wonderful you were. It was fantastic. This episode was just really shocking for us. We weren't expecting so much of what happened, and the role that you played in this whole episode was just...
Well, my question for you guys, can you hear me? Because you're cutting in and out a little bit.
Why is
we
this
can
happening?
hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you
clearly.
Okay, yeah, good. For some reason, when one of you talks on top of the other, it cuts you out. But that's okay.
That's our issue.
My question for you guys, and I'm just curious to know your feedback, because you guys have been so in tune with the show all along. Did you think that would have been Danny's demise? Did you think Ralph was going to take him out?
Oh, no, I didn't think, actually, when I saw you approaching the motel, there was no part of me that thought he was going to die. I didn't know that you were going to die, but I just thought when he grabbed that seashell to use it as an ashtray, I was a little suspicious of that. And as we know, Danny is kind of, or at least he has been, a bit 2 steps ahead of some of the things that have been going on, not forever. But so I didn't think that he was going to go. No. But I didn't think you were going to go either at that point. So
I kind of thought that when he grabbed that seashell thing, he was going to use it. I was like, he's going to kill him with that. I don't know, the way he grabbed it, I was like, sorry, Ralph. Like, sorry, you're not going to make it.
Yeah. No, I agree. The way he grabbed it was very telling.
Yes.
And there's just something in his demeanor throughout the play of it. But when I was reading the script, I didn't see it coming. They didn't play it out that way in the script at all. Ben really brought that home.
What were the differences?
It was just very straight telling. They referred to the conch shell with him flicking his ashes into it while he was on the phone with John, and then they spent a lot of time in the script on John. And then my entrance, they didn't really spell out how I they said I just kind of snuck in the back entrance, but it didn't really spell out a lot of what you saw there.
Right.
And then it cut to me on the floor, basically.
Yeah, and actually,
having been conked in the head.
With the conch.
Like, very interesting how that all played out. And actually, the way that they edited it, I actually thought the way that they edited that scene where, we didn't see your face initially, we just saw the body, lying on the floor. Even at that point, at that point I knew it was you and not Danny. Actually, I was pretty certain that. Although I think I would have liked to have seen how that went down. You know, like I would have liked to have seen that. Yeah. So that was
well, I agree, and that's kind of my fingers crossed as an actor that they may retell that in the second season, because there's no real spoiler here. I don't know if I'm coming back in the second season for any flashbacks or anything.
Well, with these producers, you never know. I don't know how they do, the producers and the writers, the creators, how they puzzle piece these storylines together so beautifully
and so far in advance.
Exactly.
They're able to see seasons in advance. We're kept on the edge of our seat, and they just have everything planned out.
It worked out. It must be so cool to be on the inside. I mean, as on the inside as the actors were. I know you only got so many scripts at once, but to see kind of that process.
I tell you, it's one of the highlights of my professional life, as well as just as a fan of film and television. I was just watching the SAG conversations, the SAG Foundation conversations that they have on YouTube, and Ben Mendelsohn was recently on there, and he if you guys get a chance to watch that, it's some real good insight as to his character and things like that and what he brought to the table.
I will watch it, Tyler.
But yeah, check it out. It's really, really great, and he has some real good lines in that. And it's just, he quotes this show as the type of show that's bringing in the golden age of adult drama. Shows that we believe that we've all been kind of craving for a long time. It doesn't spell it out for you, and it doesn't patronize you as a viewer. And as far as I'm concerned, for me, this is really, really something that I really can't find the words that I'm a part of it. And I've met some wonderful people. I know you guys have talked with Bill, and you've become friends with him, social media and that sort of thing. But he's a really genuine, great guy, and somebody I still haven't even physically met in person. But we've talked several times, and we're Facebook friends, of course. And then of course, you guys talked with Gino, and he's such I don't know how much you delved into his history, but he is such a genuine, great person as well, with a great music career. I don't know if you guys know about all that.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that with him.
But it's really just one of those things for me that supports this region and the Southeast region of talent and actors. And these guys, these producers, Todd and Glenn and Daniel, they really allowed for us. I know I was given free rein on the set to really kind of create whatever I wanted to create. I didn't have any special meetings. They didn't really dictate. Each director had kind of their own personal input, and it's one of the greatest experiences up to date in my career.
That's fantastic. And kind of speaking about that process of really kind of having free reign and kind of getting to choose your own path, what was some of your preparation or some of the ways that you really kind of got yourself ready for these scenes and kind of your character's demise?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that question. It's great because I really focused on this guy. I always, it's something about the beady eyes that I have, I think. I always play the serious kind of guy, and I always get looked at for those types of things. But one of my favorite roles that I've always wanted to do was kind of the serial killer or the killer that you don't really know is the serial killer. And you touched on that scene with Sissy Spacek. I ate that scene up. As soon as I saw that in the script, guys, I leapt and whooped in my hotel. I was like, thank you, Lord. I finally get this type of scene to play completely opposite of the intention of the character. And that scene actually just came so easily to me because it was just play it completely opposite of what my intent was. But as far as that preparation for the character, I really just found him, like I struggled a little bit because the producers didn't give me a lot of information about where Ralph came from. And I got another bit of story to tell you about Ralph. Ralph wasn't even Ralph Lawler in the beginning. If you guys don't know, I'm not sure if anybody ever told you, but I was originally White-Haired Man was the name of the character.
Interesting.
White-Haired Man.
Were you supposed to have white hair?
Yeah. Well, when they sent out the casting, they asked all the actors auditioning to be prepared to, if asked to bleach blonde your hair white. and I was working on another project, and I couldn't bleach it once they booked me, and they're like, it's okay, no big deal.
Yeah, it seemed to work out really well because
Sorry?
the look of your character, I think, lended to his creepiness, like this character that you want to play of the unknown killer.
The dark, menacing guy.
Yeah, but it could be a regular dude.
But he's also a regular dude.
Thanks for calling me creepy.
You were creepy so well, so convincing.
You said beady eyes.
You said beady eyes. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's awesome. No, but seriously, as far as the character goes, it really just kind of came natural as the script was written. Even Ben mentioned this as well. The script kind of let us know how to play what was intended from these guys, and you know, this guy was just a creepy killer, and the way I played it, one of the directors came to me, Ed Bianchi, and he told me, he was in episode 11, because, you know, we have different directors each episode. And Ed told me that he was a little confused about where I came from. He said, because what I did in 10 and what I had been doing a couple of times with him in a couple of the scenes in 10 didn't lead him to believe that I was necessarily Wayne Lowry's crony.
Okay.
You know, just some little person. He's like, maybe you've been sent here from Wayne's bosses. Ooh. And you might even have some superiority over Wayne. Oh. And so that kind of lent a little bit of a different feel when you're watching episode 12 of how I'm kind of dealing with Wayne in a couple of our scenes. That added a flavor for me.
I think it was actually a little, also it added to the creepy or the just, you know, the killer factor, that we didn't have much backstory, because it makes it all the more...
Yeah, I didn't really question it because you're a contract killer. You're not supposed to know your backstory.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. So I think that was good.
But I did pitch a backstory to Todd Kessler on the set. I told him that I felt like Wayne and Ralph have maybe a gay lover history in the military.
Well, okay then.
I like it. I like this.
Show.
Season 2, huh? That's going to come out.
I have a question about, we haven't talked about this scene yet, but when you do a little beatdown on Eric Bannon.
Yes.
Yeah. Why did I say?
Because you're thinking of Eric Bana.
Sorry, you know what I'm talking about. But,
we like him, but it's not him.
I do like him. How was that, shooting that scene? Did you have to choreograph kind of the beatdown? How does that really work?
Because it looked legit.
It looked real good.
Yeah, it was totally choreographed. Jamie McShane, who was the actor, he was padded up for the most part when he was on the ground, but when I came up behind him, of course the weapon was a rubber weapon, and he was really great. He's done a lot of fight sequences himself as an actor because he worked on Sons of Anarchy, so he was real instrumental on helping me through that, because he really wanted me to cock him really hard on the back of the neck there. And the first couple of takes, I was a little tentative because I was really coming up behind him, and he played it so well. And I hit him pretty hard eventually. And we had a stunt director who was on set, who that's what he does. And it was all choreographed all the way through until he hit the ground. And then the kicking part, Jamie actually had padding, a lot of padding, and I full-on kicked him. I mean, we shot that about 6 or 7 times.
Whoa!
A lot.
He was bruised after that.
I know.
For that scene, I actually thought you may have killed him, because when you had the gun to his head, I was thinking, well, why wouldn't you kill him at that point? If you were given the information you need, you don't really need to have him around. You don't need to have Eric then tip off Danny on some level that this guy, this crazy dude is about to get Danny. So I for sure thought he was done until we saw him coming out of the house when Chelsea got there.
I agree. When the scene is that Chelsea's coming home from work, I thought she was going to walk in on her dead brother's body.
100%, I thought so too. And then I was like, oh, good.
I agree. I agree. There's a little bit of that. There's a little gap there that I felt like that could have left a question for the storytelling on that. But that's neither here nor there.
Right. All right. Well, so we're going to still see maybe Eric next season.
I love the character.
Yes, definitely. He's series regular, so he's definitely coming back next season.
Good old Eric.
And Ben is definitely coming back as well. And I don't know if you guys know this, but they pitched 6 seasons when they brought this to Netflix.
I did.
So, I don't know if they're contracted for 6 seasons, but I do know they have a scope for 6 seasons.
That boggles my mind.
Well, because here's the thing.
Plan.
They for sure, if Ben is coming back, it must be, and so I guess everyone that doesn't want to hear this, plug your ears right now. It must be because there's layers of backstory that we're going to see that we didn't see this season, and that's how they're going to do it.
Or John goes crazy and is now dreaming about
that too, but maybe like Ben is haunting him in his dreams. That could totally be it as well.
Or you
With Sarah
guys, when Danny was alive, he saw Sarah's ghost. So why can't Kevin and John and Meg see Danny's ghost?
Yep. I ship that. That's totally possible.
I like that a lot. That's really cool.
I mean,
and you guys are in store for some good information in episode 13 too.
Oh, I can't wait!
I know,
so
God. This was the hardest not to push next on Netflix and just get to it.
Yeah,
you know, just trying to find out what happens. So much.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh. So Tyler, is it fine for you to stick on the line with us for a little bit? We kind of want to discuss further the episode and kind of go into more details about what happened.
My pleasure.
Okay,
no problem.
great.
Some of it you'll be able to chime in on, but we'll kind of cover some of the scenes that you were sadly not involved in. But we know that you have an opinion on them.
Sit here and listen.
Excellent. So let's maybe touch on John for a little bit.
Yeah, this episode was definitely like John's complete unraveling.
Yep. Yes.
And like starting from the beginning when his wife is like, you are always protecting him. Like, I thought you were going to do something and you didn't.
It's always this guilt that he has, and I see where the wife's coming from, but I also see where John's coming from. So it's like, but what do you want me to do? He's my brother, you know?
Yeah.
It's a catch-22.
But at this point, like, I understand why she's mad because her children have been threatened.
Man, that Janie needs to
ground her
for life. She's like, what's the big deal? I'm like, come on.
No.
You know, I actually had issue with that because I did not think it was as big of a deal in terms of the threatening. Not one point did I think that Danny was going to harm her. I thought he was going to really screw with John or make John feel very insecure about what was going on between uncle and niece. But I really didn't think anything bad was going to happen to her.
I didn't think he was going to do anything bad, but it was the fact that he used her to hurt John. It's a bad situation. He shouldn't have done it. Even though,
well, they shouldn't have done a lot of things towards Danny, and you know,
Team Danny over here. So, Danny does a lot of stuff to them too.
Well, yeah, but obviously we know that it's in response to how he was treated very early on, and subsequently how he was treated for the rest of his life by the family. Yeah, he was the black sheep.
My favorite scene in this episode was when like John comes down the stairs and then Danny's sitting there, and then Danny just throws down. He's like, listen, yes, I did something wrong. Yep. This is what I did, and you guys are screwed.
How did you like that scene, Tyler, when Danny was sitting there and we didn't anticipate that he was going to be in the mix with all the family members there?
I absolutely loved that, and actually, you guys, I kind of failed to mention this earlier when you asked me about the script. When they in the script, it did kind of play it like it did in the show, where you were not sure if Enrique's character was looking at Ralph or Danny on the floor, and then and it played out just like it did in the show when Danny was revealed in the script, and then it went right back and you saw it was Ralph on the floor. So I loved that.
Yeah, I love the way he called out Mama Rayburn.
Just right in front of everyone. I know, it was great. It was finally the moment of we finally got to know what he was thinking. This whole entire time, he's played the kind of silent...
He's played the whole family.
Yes, and he's kept everything in.
Well, and beyond that, we finally got, some level of what this yellow note was. It said? I mean, it must have said enough where the response was that when Sally said, my son hates me, my son hates me.
But he was going to read that note at the dinner.
So it could have been, I hate my parents. I don't know.
Say that in front of all of those people.
He might have wanted to call his parents out on being total not good parentes to him.
Yeah, and I think it's still very possible that this note, like maybe he thought he was just coming back on the pilot episode to be there for that one event, and that's it. And just read his note, say his piece, get it off his chest, and then bail. I don't think that the entire season was really pre-planned. I think it kind of developed as he stayed and as he saw,
the opportunities.
Yes, he saw, I can really mess with these people. And I actually thought there was going to be more to that note. I felt like when I saw Sally reading it, I was like, oh, it's going to get crazy. Like, we're going to know some crazy information that's on this note. And we really didn't yet. So it makes me wonder, either one, it wasn't quite that bad. Yeah, it was hurtful to his mother, but it wasn't, quite that groundbreaking. Or two, more of the contents of that note will come about in either episode 13 or season 2.
I thought about that too.
Yes.
That it's probably definitely going to come up again.
I was really hoping for like a, over-the-shoulder shot of the letter, of just getting even like 4 sentences. I was hoping for something, and it was like, nope, not getting it, Allison.
We wanted that note the whole season.
The whole season. We've been dying for that.
My favorite quote from the scene where Danny was there with the whole family was when he said, I never felt safe in this house.
Yes.
And now none of you are safe in this house. And I was like, oh my gosh.
But nothing's going to happen to them. They weren't involved with Wayne Lowry's going to come kill a Rayburn? No, that's not going to happen.
I
think even the threat of it, even at that point, everybody's super leery of Danny and his actions and what he's been doing and what he's got going on, and he keeps disappearing and they don't know who he's hanging out with, and like all of this is going on. So I think any little bit of threat from him just really puts them on edge, no matter what it is. And that's probably part of why he played with them so much, was that it was easy for him to, because even if he really wasn't gonna hurt Janie, or he wasn't gonna actually do these awful things to various people in the family,
about the fear of it.
Yes, and all he had to do was say it. Or like to Meg, for example, when he would threaten her, he really didn't do anything to her, but he would threaten her, and he'd say things to her to mess with her. I think it was all about the mental, emotional manipulation of everything
and everyone. I love when he was like, I'm sure, when he's talking to Mama Rayburn, like, I'm sure John told you this, and you're just like, John, speak up, tell her, like, he didn't say anything. So that was like a little blip in his plan, because John didn't just go crawling to Mom and like spill the whole story.
Oh no, John's keeping a whole lot from Mom.
Yes, he is.
John is a very good liar as well. And actually, I don't remember who it was, but someone commented on YouTube on one of our prior episodes, and she asked for us to comment on what we believe to be the like Emmy nominated episode, or what we think was probably each character's best episode in terms of an Emmy nomination. And I really feel strongly that, at least for John's character, this episode, we saw layers to him that
it's Kyle Chandler. He's amazing.
Oh no, he's amazing. But I think this was a great episode for him.
For that.
If you've watched any of these shows, you know I am a huge fan of Coach Taylor. I love him.
Tyler knows.
Kyle Chandler.
Yes, we all know.
Oh my god, I feel like the Florida actors have to have like an after show of our after show. Of like
our kookiness.
Yeah, do you guys like?
Hey, I do want to tell you, you're right on. I think you're right on track with episode 12 as far as the Emmys go. A buddy of mine went is part of that whole thing out in Los Angeles, where they do the Emmy previews and things like that.
Yep.
And they had a big Bloodline. I forget what it was called. I'm sorry, I don't have all my technical jargon put together for you. But they used episode 12. That's the one that they screened, and all the Emmy voters were there and that sort of thing. So you're right on track with that.
I did read something interesting. I forget if it was on like therap.com or Variety or something like that, but apparently Ben Mendelsohn is being nominated as a supporting actor for the show. And I was actually surprised by that, because he's a very central
much lead.
So that, and I don't know if that's because maybe the contenders for lead actor in a drama are at such a caliber where he has a better shot at winning for Best Supporting Actor, but that saddened me a little bit, because I just think I want him to win over everyone.
I completely agree. I think he should not be supporting.
Yeah. Anyway, he gets like tons of gold stars, as do you, Tyler. But I do love me some Ben Mendelsohn now. I am for sure.
No, it's okay.
Him and Jamie Dornan.
Far more credits than I do.
Well, but you're on your way, because your reel got beefed up.
Oh my gosh, you definitely need to be cast in like all future serial killer shows.
And there are a lot.
And
of
also
I would like nothing less than that. My wife couldn't watch it, but I would definitely like that career.
I mean, it's like really, although, you know, I don't know how much comedy you would appreciate, but I could certainly see, I would love to see you doing things like that, because I find dramatic actors to be the best comedians as well. Some of them, not all of them, but
I've got a decent comedy background.
I felt
We sensed it.
your Twitter handle is Tyler Crave, so I was like, I know that there's something else going on there.
There's some cheekiness there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, it could be just as simple as Tyler Cravens was taken, believe it or not.
Well, I'll just pretend. I know. I was like, please let me pretend.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just pretend.
As far as like this being like John's like shining moment, when they're on the beach, right? Like from him sitting in the car to the end of the episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, what is John gonna do?
You mean sitting in the car? Are you saying when he was looking at the motel room, or sitting in the car before he went out to see Danny on
when
the?
He's like sitting, like he's about to go speak to Danny. He's like holding the gun.
Got it.
Then you're like, what is it? Like from there to the end, I was like, just take it all.
Yeah.
Take it all.
I mean, talk about a Emmy-winning episode. I mean, the craziest thing happened in this episode. At the end of the episode, it's like no one saw it coming.
And we knew Danny was gonna die.
I don't know if I knew that.
I knew that. Come on.
I honestly didn't know that. And as all of our viewers know, I am the IMDb research maven.
She is.
And I did not see that coming. I really, truly.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I did not really see it coming either, especially the way that it happened. I
didn't know
not,
the way it was going to happen.
Yeah, I did not see that happening at all. But yeah, Kate, you're kind of referencing the moments at the beginning, kind of the flashback moments that we saw
early on in the episode.
I knew he was
about
going to
the
die.
trunk.
I had a feeling that one of the three siblings was going to kill him, because we saw the flash forward of John carrying him through the woods. Yes, we didn't absolutely know if he was dead, but he was pretty limp and unconscious, and so I thought he was dead. We see Meg, the trunk thing, we saw a flash forward with that and the raining, and you see the seersucker suit. So and then we seen the Kevin with the gun flash forward too. So we've seen a flash forward with each of the siblings, and now you see how it all came together for Danny's demise.
Yeah.
I just always felt historically, because of how the creators of this show do things, I still had hopes that it was trickery. It was editing trickery, and it was deception.
I know. We're holding out hope.
Yeah. So anyway, I totally was. I mean, even when he was, face down in the water, I still was thinking, John's gonna go there and resuscitate him.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. He's gonna pump the water out of his lungs.
Isn't it just weird that, Sarah drowned and now Danny drowned?
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, wow.
It's way too close to home.
It's some extreme foreshadowing there. But,
yes.
Let's talk about the conversation, too, that John and Danny had.
Yeah.
So, they're discussing all of these major things. It develops into Danny saying, if you want me to leave, beg me.
Yep.
And it just becomes this whole, just brother dueling, just ugliness.
Right. And then even earlier in the episode, who's it? Danny said to Meg, this thing that's going on with me and John, we're going to work it out. But stay out of it. But I was like, no, you're not going to work it out. It's not going to happen.
How many times have I had this conversation of Danny leaving, and then he comes back, and then she drops him off at the bus station, and then he comes back? It's never going to end, and I think that's what John finally realized, and then that's what also finally broke John, because it's a circle that they're never going to break out of.
I just thought it was really telling that, moments before everything really went down, John says, I can't hate you. And it's like, well, then what do you it's like, I love you, bro. I'm going to kill you. I can't hate you, but I can kill you.
Well, that's because he snapped.
He snapped.
He for sure
snapped. But
snapped.
that was his problem the whole time. Danny is like, you hate me. He's like, he could have handled this situation years ago if he actually hated him.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem with John.
Do you know
the whole guilt?
It's the guilt.
I think it's also very interesting because Danny says in the conversation, I want you to know what it's like to have to always apologize. And now you can see that for the rest of John's life, he's going to be apologizing on some level to the other siblings he has, to his mother in the next season. I mean, we don't know.
So in some way, Danny won?
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, John literally, this is going to haunt John now
for
forever.
The rest of his life.
Even though he's repressing it and he's saying everything's fine, and oh my,
it's a really good point.
Yeah.
Danny, which he's dead, but he is still haunting them and he kind of mission accomplished. Like, now they feel what he felt.
I know, and I think there's even
So dark.
So dark, and there's even something to kind of add to it about the fact that he had the gun as a possible murder weapon, but he didn't use it, and he just with his bare hands,
It was real
just
personal.
took Danny down. Yeah. There was that whole extra...
Well, what did you guys, I'm sorry to interrupt,
No,
what did you
please.
guys think about Danny laughing there once the fight ensued?
It's him knowing he won.
I thought that really added to the whole horror of the moment.
Yep,
Yes.
100,000,000%.
You know what it reminded me of, though? It reminded me of a couple episodes ago where he kind of took that little leave from the inn and he went down to, where did he go? He went someplace and he got some drugs from Eric and he went
that
and he was
big
like,
party.
Yeah, he went on his whole little bender for the weekend or
Yep.
the night or whatever it was. And he found himself in that bar and he was just like asking for it with that big
right.
Marine guy or
Yeah.
Navy guy.
He wanted to get
And-
beat up.
Yes, and he just not only allowed, but encouraged the guy to beat him up to a point where he just was broken.
No.
And it's almost like he wanted it. It was some sort of self-gratification to like feel that pain on a physical level. And so when he started laughing when his own brother was doing this to him and they were having this altercation, it just made me think of that moment and just think of how messed up Danny is.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. He's messed up.
But I do think there's like a moment for Danny where he sees John cracking, who he keeps calling him the Boy Scout, right? He keeps calling John the Boy Scout. He's not going to do anything wrong. And now they're going to have this big physical tussle. Like, he came at him from behind
With
and hit him with
a log.
with some beech wood.
Yeah.
You know, so for Danny to laugh there, like, that's him feeling like a win.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he gets killed.
Tyler, when you were watching this episode, what was your thought on the fact that John was the one that actually took Danny out?
You're asking me that?
Yes.
No. I'm sorry, I missed the Tyler part. It broke up just as you said that. I thought it was very perfect. I thought it was telling. I actually anticipated that. You guys thought it might have been some of the others. I had thought for a little while through the episode that Chelsea might have had a little more doing in this than anything.
Interesting.
And she might show up at any moment. But when I was reading the script, once I read where they were and what was happening and how remote the setting was, I really felt that was going to be it. And I was just so impressed the way that they did it because it was so unintentional, and John really did just lose it. And I think he was more surprised than anybody else that he did what he did. That's just how I feel about
I also
it.
think John was really hurt with bringing up Chelsea, that Danny used Chelsea to go talk to John. I did not see that coming, that Danny sent her. And
I did
to
because it was
test
something
John.
about the way she reacted to him when he asked her where he was. There was just something about the way she answered it. There's some tells with people when they lie. They generally will look away, or they'll blink a lot, or there's just these psychological things. And I felt like as the actor, she kind of gave us a little bit of a tell.
Yeah, she's been amazing the whole series.
Yeah, she can do no wrong in my opinion.
Yeah, no, she was definitely spot on this season. It was a great role for her.
But yeah, that was even harsher because Danny knew that John knew this guy was going to come and kill him, and yet his brother didn't stop it.
Yep.
So it's just like more fuel to the fire of how much I hate you.
I couldn't believe that moment actually when John drove away after he saw Ralph like approaching the motel room and literally I didn't see that. I thought something might happen where he stepped in on some level. Nope.
When that call came in over the radio and he just didn't even answer.
Ignored it.
Yeah.
You could see there was that personal struggle, but still didn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I had to reread that part of the script. I thought I misread it. I went back a couple of pages and thought I had misread it when I first read the script. So.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well,
Interesting.
I know this episode was a complete doozy for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything was shocking and amazing all at once, and we just can't wait for episode 13. It's going to be so I'm sure it's going to blow our minds even more. We probably have no idea what's even in store for us.
Right.
We're going to watch it now, and then you can watch us talk about it at 11 p.m.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it at 11 o'clock tonight.
That's
the
right.
finale.
A two-part finale spectacular.
It is. It's a Bloodline spectacular.
Tyler, let us know what we can keep an eye out for with you. Do you have any projects or anything you're working on?
Yeah, I just did an episode. It's a very small scene on Graceland.
Cool.
And that's in season 6, which comes up. I think they actually June 28th or somewhere around there. At the end of this month, they come in, bring in season 6. I'm in episode 6. I play an FBI agent.
Nice.
Kind of a translator, Nico Megarian. I play I forget. It's. Gosh, I'm totally drawing a blank on my nationality on this show.
Armenian?
Okay.
But I'm a
you
translator, and it's a small scene, and it may recur, but we'll see.
Okay.
That's all I've got going on now. I'm auditioning a lot, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Well, we will keep an eye out for that. Where can everybody find you also on social media?
Sure, you got Tyler Crave on Twitter, and then that's about it. You could hook me up on Facebook, and Tyler Cravens on Facebook, and then I've got a website, tylercravens.com.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was excellent to hear all of your insight, and it was just really wonderful to get to talk to you.
It was my pleasure, guys. I really enjoyed what you've done, and truly, I've gone back, I've watched every one of your episodes, and you guys have been spot on. Doing a great job with this sort of thing.
We appreciate it. Stay in touch with us. Obviously, you know where to find us. So.
Yep. And we expect to be back for season 2.
Yes.
For sure.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, good luck in all your endeavors, ladies.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Same to you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, Tyler.
He was great.
He
was
was
exciting.
They're all great.
I love him.
Actors are doing it.
They're the best.
I hope they fly us out to set for season 2.
Oh my god.
We need to start planning that scene now.
We do.
Yeah.
Bloodline writers.
Road trip.
Loop us in.
Yeah.
That's right.
You can write us in. We could be working at a coffee shop.
We can be like the newscasters for something. Come on.
I know. They can find something for us. We can be like standing like in behind. I don't know.
We
There's something.
can just be guests at the end. I can be on vacation. I can play a vacationer.
I support that.
I like it. I like it. Let's make that happen.
Okay.
Awesome. Good episode, guys. Good recap, guys. I love all of it, and I'm like so amped for episode 13.
Go watch
it's gonna be
episode
crazy.
13.
Let's go.
All right, guys, tune in with us at 11 o'clock tonight. You can catch the finale after show. We're going to cover it. I've been your host, Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
I am Alison Dean. You can find me at the Alison Dean everywhere, and on our YouTube show, Winos and Onesies.
That's right.
Because it goes really harmoniously with Bloodline.
Of course it does.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Kate Aquillano. You can find me on all social media at Kate Aquillano.
And I'm Marielou Mandl. You can find me on all social media at Marielou Mandl.
Yay!
Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.